Go to investorthrive.com right now to check out some of our free training on how you can make money as a real estate investor, or schedule a time with me so we can chat about our mastermind mentorship and how we can help you learn how to wholesale nationwide and grow your business. Hey guys, if you're tuning in right now, we're going live with Investor Thrive, guys. We are doing the Sales Mastery podcast where we basically bring on sales experts or people that have done deals in real estate, that are doing deals in real estate, and we relate how they're doing deals to specific sales techniques. We got Daniel, one of the, I guess, I don't even like saying student. I don't like that word. I'd say, hey, someone we work with in the program, and we've been chatting, helping him out, and basically he just did a giant deal that I feel giant. I feel like a lot of people too. They'd love to make what you made. What did you make on that assignment fee?
So there's two fees that I made recently. One was $25,000. The other one was $100,000.
Dude, get out of here.
No, seriously, man. Just to kind of give the context, it was through your course that I explored this one avenue that I didn't even know existed. And I won't give away the secret sauce,
Yeah,
but
don't give away the secret sauce yet.
but basically, connected basically through like an agent and just. I mean, you know how much you and I were texting each other, and you were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, this is what you should do in terms of building rapport." And so, ended up landing, long story short, like two deals that ended up being great. So I don't know if you want to dive into one of them.
Dude, let's definitely dive into those, man. But that's awesome. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, Daniel, is a part of my program. Literally, he just said he did $25,000 wholesale fee on one deal, and then $100,000 on another one. So that's $125K, man. Was it? I guess it was worth it then, huh?
It was worth it. The return on investment is there for sure.
That's awesome, bro. That's what I like to hear. Well, the reason why I brought you on, I love chatting with you. I love seeing you. I love to see your success, but I also want to see, kind of break down these deals and see how you applied specific sales skills, techniques to help you get this. Because one thing I do know, that this agent, the way you got these deals, they would not have worked with you unless they felt like you were the man, right? Or like you're going to be able to do what you said you did, right?
Yeah, and I think that played a key role in the 25. The one that's $25,000 is actually more of an interesting story than the one that's $100,000, even though like the dollars are different, because
right.
The one that was $25,000, basically, I think they were trying to shop the deal, so it was between myself as an investor and a few others. So I still had competition on this deal, but what was most important to the seller was trying to figure out, who's actually going to come to the closing table, right? And so we were working through this mutual agent that we knew that was trying to direct traffic and trying to, really do their part to help the seller to make the process easier. It's kind of like a friends of friends deal. It wasn't on the market or anything like that. And so I think I was bidding somewhere like 110 because I knew the market was probably in the mid ones for this property and its condition and location here in Atlanta. It's kind of a gentrifying area. So I really wanted to bid like 110 at the most. Right. And then this other investor was like, "Oh, I'll come up to 115." And so he initially, I think they wanted to accept his offer, and then they sent in the paperwork, and like 24 hours had passed. And in our business, time is money, so you have to be on top of your game, top of your email.
He was sleeping on it.
This guy was sleeping on it. Like literally, he's like, "Okay, 115." They're like, "Okay, you got yourself a deal." They sent him paperwork. He never signed it, and so like they got spooked. They're like, "Hey, listen, if you're not serious, then we're just gonna go with this other offer."
Right.
And so that's how I ended up getting that deal. And then once I got it under contract, I like to double close personally, just so that there's clean lines between party A, and party C. And so, once I got under contract, I started trying to figure out, all right, who's the right investor? And so obviously I talked to you about wholesaling it. And then one of the things that you had told me was like, listen, dude, I'm happy to work with you, but you should try to figure out what other agents in that area are operating, reach out to other agents and see if they know any other investors. And you can just go direct to the end buyer, so that's what I did. So reached out to some people that I know that worked in this pocket of Atlanta, and just through like Facebook Messenger, somebody said like, "Hey, I might know somebody that's interested. I'm happy to introduce you guys if you're actually serious about it." And again, that goes back to the same thing about like people want to do business with people who are serious about the business, not just punting around.
Exactly, bro.
And so it connected me, and so I talked to this other investor. True story. He went to the house. I wasn't there, so he walked it, and we negotiated a price. And then he realized that he was at the house next door.
Oh gosh, bro.
Fine, whatever. People make mistakes. you know, we had to laugh about it at the end of the day, but then we had to renegotiate once you realized which house I was actually trying to wholesale him, because
Oh
it's like an
gosh.
entire pocket. So it's like, you know, if you drive down the street, you see 5, 6 houses under construction or that are like ripe for renovation. Fine, maybe he got confused or whatever. So we ended up negotiating back and forth, back and forth, and so you know we ended up agreeing on a price. We ran into some title issues and got those cleared up, but ultimately, yeah, I was able to wholesale that for about 25 grand. So I think
Great.
I ended up did coming up to 115 just to match the same price as the other investor, but then I got rid of it for 142.5, and so after closing costs and like, you know, attorney fees, ended up being about 25 net. So it was a good deal.
That is a good deal, man. That is
This
awesome.
is my this is my manager here. She's with me today, so
That's
she's
the motivation. That's the
yeah,
motivation, right?
that's the motivation. So she's demanding more crackers. But so that was actually a pretty fun deal. That was good. The other one, the $100,000 wholesale fee, that one was crazy because I just feel like sometimes there's so much negativity in the market right now,
Right.
and you know, in the sales business, sometimes you have to use that to your advantage. So you know, we were negotiating this deal. We were thinking about, oh, the market's cooling off, and so I ended up kind of playing that to my advantage and got the house for about 430,000, and the seller didn't know that right in their pocket, you know, a couple streets over, there was a renovated house that sold in the low nines. You know,
Wow,
so
brother. Wow.
it's a full renovation, so it's a big job. It's not something that, you know, you're going to take on as your first flip, but for the
Right.
experienced investor who I ended up selling it to, you know, he does like 20, 30 flips a year.
That's exactly who you got to sell to, right? Yeah.
So he ended up looking at it like the house, and this is when you know you have a good deal, because this is a question people ask. So if this deal is so good, why aren't you flipping it yourself? You know, I got
Yep.
that question 3 or 4 times, and the honest answer is it's just not in my wheelhouse. You know,
Yeah.
it's about 30 minutes away from where I live, so I hate driving. And you know, I work in East Cobb, and so this is in Roswell, so the next town over. Still a
Yeah.
great area, but slightly different demographic, different
I know,
buyer
bro.
market.
I grew up on the border of Marietta and Roswell, Georgia, bro. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is straight up like past downtown Roswell. You keep
Okay.
going up that road, up Canton Street, and you basically get into this nice little pocket, not too far from the hospital. So really nice area and all that jazz. But you know, when people are asking you like, well, if it's such a good deal, why aren't you doing it? That's when you know you have a deal on your
Yep.
hands.
Yeah. They're like they're kind of skeptical, but they want it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like nobody gives something away for free. I'm like, listen, dude. Obviously, I already closed on it. Obviously, I got it at a lower price than what I'm selling to you. So at the spread I'm making, I'm happy to let it go and still leave plenty of meat on the bone for
Yeah.
you. You know,
Yeah.
this is still a 6-figure profit for this other investor, because honestly, it was gonna is you know, you're not moving walls so much, but it's just a big footprint. It was, you know, 3,500 above grade and about 2,000 of basement. So it's about 5,000
Wow.
square foot house. Not a lot of people have the experience and the capital kind of take that project on. So
Right.
but it was from the same source, the same kind of like agent that does off market deals. And so once you build that relationship, I know, babe, I know. You'll get your day on the camera too.
One day we'll bring you on Investor
Yeah,
Thrive.
exactly, exactly. So, you know, it goes back to my earlier point where it's like building that rapport, right? When people
Yes.
know who you are, they've done one deal with you, a second deal with you. So I did the smaller $25,000 deal first, and then we did this $100,000 deal with the same
Love
agent
it.
like 2 weeks later. And so it's just about building rapport. It's about building, you know, your brand and your name out there, and making sure that when when you say something, you're gonna do it, and people
Yeah.
know that you're gonna close. If you make an offer, you write an offer.
Well, there's
You know,
power in that. There's power in doing what you say.
there absolutely is, and I've done, you know, even before I started the wholesale program with you, I've done other wholesale deals where something was listed on the MLS, and to be fair, some, you know, this was another agent that brought me. I was networked with other agents.
Mm-hmm.
They brought me the deal. It was listed. I'm like, bro, this is gonna go for like 250, 260. This is during the hot part of the market. You know, this was
Mm-hmm.
like a year ago. And he's like, no, believe me, I talked to the seller. They just want a clean offer. No due diligence, no BS, just
Get it
all
done.
cash. Give me a price, and that's it. So they were listed at 230, and I offered 215. And I knew this house was worth like 250. And
Yeah.
so I got it under contract because my offer was no due diligence, all cash, 2-week close, no BS. You know, it's like I know what I'm doing, you know. And when
Mm-hmm.
people have that vibe and they have that rapport that you're serious, that's going to get you more deals. And I think there's a lot of value in that.
For sure. So let me ask you a question. In your opinion, for people that are brand new, how would you say they go about starting that? They've never done a deal. Maybe they're just not confident in being like, I can do it. What would you recommend for those people?
So one of the things that I've done and just trying to pass on goodwill is that I will meet other people at some of my flips and some of my rehabs
Mhm.
totally for free. Just, hey, if you have time, stop by whenever you like. We can coordinate. And they basically shadow me for like a half day or whatever. And they
Mhm.
ask questions like, hey, how did you price this beam, or how did you know what needed to be changed or what needed to be kept, or how did you comp this, right? So I would say, again, it's kind of redundant, but the easiest way to learn is to get a mentor or get somebody who knows what they're doing
Mhm.
and learn from them. Pick their brain, the same way that you helped me on this aspect of wholesaling. This for me is a new game, but I'm pretty decent at the renovation side. So,
Dude,
I've
you're good
got
at the
folks.
wholesaling side now too, brother. You just find a deal and you patch it up. Bring it to somebody that will pay more in this
Yeah,
case.
man. So I would say start with finding people who already know what they're doing. Find a mentor, find somebody who's willing to answer your questions. Take them out for a beer, take them out for lunch. It doesn't have to be something crazy expensive. Just
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm in your neighborhood. Let's go grab a burger, and I can just pick your brain. And it'll cost you $10, $15, maybe to take them out to lunch. But that's an hour or two that you have with somebody. You can literally ask them whatever you want. So first step
Agreed.
is always going to be to find a mentor or somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so one thing that I've been teaching recently, with the market shift is I don't know if you've heard of this term before, Daniel, but it's reverse wholesaling. It's basically where you, instead of going to find the deal and then finding a buyer later, you already have the buyers in place and you know
Yep.
what they want. So then you just go, you find it and you just bring it to them. So that's kind of like what I tell people that are brand new. It's like, hey, instead of going out there and just guessing, like you have
Yeah.
a good idea because you were flipping. So you kind of knew what people wanted, right?
Yeah.
Had that idea. Some people that are brand new, they don't really know. So go, like for example, if someone's to go to you and be like, "Hey, Daniel, if I brought you a deal, what would it look like?" I mean, you literally be able to say, "Hey, if you bring me this, I'll buy it." Right?
Yeah.
That's what
I'll
I
I'll
tell new people to do.
I'll tell you, maybe take it one step further. One thing that I've done with wholesalers before that operate in my area, we kind of had that same conversation. They look like, hey, what are you buying? What does it look like for you if I bring you a deal? But then
Mhm.
I'll also tell them, hey, here's this pocket, go knock doors, go do whatever. Like, this is literally the two,
That's
three,
it.
four blocks that I want to buy in. Go, like this, you don't have to guess. I'm literally pointing the street names to you. Go,
That's what I'm saying,
skip
bro.
go skip trace these neighborhoods, this specific street to this. I mean, I live in Indian Hills. You know that area. For anybody
Yeah,
that's
Indian
like
Hills.
a
Buddy lives there.
yeah, it's like a golf course community. It's a lot of
You
older
you know
homes.
that? Do you know the Hesters? Ross
The Hester
Hester.
group. Yeah. Matt Hester.
Yeah, so he lives in your neighborhood. I went to school with the Ross.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
They're big around here. So
yeah,
I literally will tell wholesalers or like anybody else that wants to bird dog for me. I say, listen, these are the areas I want. I literally will either tear the house down or renovate it, or I'll figure out what it's worth and I'll sell it to somebody else who will tear it down or renovate it. So
right.
I'll take it one step further, and instead of them just saying like, "Hey, I'll bring you a random deal if I know what you like," I'll say this specific area, Walton School District, Indian Hills. Look for these brick ranches that I can renovate. Go and
Oh,
bring me a deal. So I love that. Let's take it one step further.
yes. Hey guys, you heard it here first. Daniel, if you want to reverse wholesale, you want to bring a legit buyer that will buy your deals, he's right here. If you want to start looking, because that's what I've been teaching this week, specifically. Because the thing with the market shift, Daniel, is that the people that have been spending a ton of money in marketing, just like a nationwide and just going kind of like how we've talked about in the past, where you go everywhere, right? That's people that are doing that strategy still, in my opinion, they're spending a lot of money and they're wasting a lot of money, because if you don't have a specific area that you're going to spend a lot of time trying to lock up deals that probably aren't deals anymore, right? Because things have changed.
Yeah.
So you got to be a sniper. You got to be targeted, and exactly what you're saying is what I think. You can provide a lot of value to some newer wholesalers and just people in general, like
Yeah.
by being willing to buy what they bring. you know
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good for all of them too, because that way they're not wasting their time and money, like you said, marketing to everybody and not sure like, am I going to find a buyer for it or not, right? If I tell you I want to be in this specific zip code or this specific school district, like we've talked before,
Mhm.
and these are the types of houses that I want, old brick ranches or old, colonial style houses, bring them to me. I'll buy them. And
Exactly.
when they bring them to me, maybe on the first deal, I'll tell them that, 6 months ago, this would have been a great deal, but the market shifted. So now we have to look at this price, right? So it's not going to be like off the, I know, babe, I know. It's not going to be off the bat right away. But I think that if you're someone who wants to get into it and you want to start with reverse wholesaling, it's absolutely critical to find somebody who operates in that area, who they're going to buy from you if you bring them the right deal. And then you can go scouting, basically.
So Daniel, I mean, I'm glad I had you on here after I did the challenge. Like, let's anybody that's watching that did the reverse wholesaling challenge, reach out. Daniel, I'm sure anybody that reached out to you that would look for specific properties in the areas, the neighborhoods that you want, you'd be all about that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So another really cool thing is I told you about batch leads. They just upgraded their system to driving for dollars, and you can drive for dollars virtually or physically drive through. So I mean, literally, you could tell someone a neighborhood you want, and they could virtually drive through, mark houses that look distressed, and send them. Talk to the seller, get it negotiated, send it your way, and you'll buy it.
Yeah. The other thing is, I am still trying to up my game on the actual talking to sellers side. I worked in Wall Street for 10 years, so I know how to talk derivatives and hedging and, the trading floor with, CFOs and CEOs. But when it comes to talking to sellers, it's not about being the smartest guy in the room. It's about being, building a rapport, building a relationship. And one of the things that I did recently was like, listen, I know this house needs to be sold. I know this has been empty for 10 years. I actually even have the phone number of somebody, that supposedly either lived in the house or knows the seller. But like, I'm not great at the sales process yet. I'm still trying to do my thing. And so I'll actually reach out to other wholesalers, be like, hey, if you can go get this property for me, here's the address, here's the phone number, go and get it for me. Here's what I want to pay for it. That's like literally sniping the game. If I will give you all the things you need, go and get it for me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And by the way, hey, I know that we've been working together, and you've been super busy doing your flips, but that's kind of like what I'm focused on, and I'm like really honed in on is the sales process, like teaching people how to talk to sellers. So, I got you, brother. If you want to master that process, I'm there for you. Let's get you in there. Let's train you on how to, have that conversation. Cause dude, I love talking to sellers, and it's just really being presenting options to them, letting them know what options are available to sell their home, and then letting them decide which is the best option for them. Whether that's, are you going to flip this? Cause I'm a contractor, or I flip homes. I can give you some good referrals. Are you going to list this? Cause I know some great agents that can list this for you. Or if you want to just sell it for cash, I got you too. So it's great because you let them make the decision on what they want to do, but you're able to benefit them either way. You're able to help them, right?
Yep.
So, and that's kind of like my sales process, and I dive really deep into it, Dan. But we want to. If you want to, like I said, I got your back. Let's master that sales process.
Man, proof's in the pudding. So with a couple deals under my belt already, I'll see you in that course.
Sounds good, man. Well, hey, this has been awesome. I'm so happy that you made 25K on one and 100K on another. And I know you're going to keep doing more, man, because even being on this podcast, being out there, letting people know what you do, I mean, more deals will come. That's just the law of attraction.
Love it, man. Love it, man. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you again.
Hey, yeah, hit me up if you need anything. And hey, by the way, Investor Thrive Nation, what we've learned today is build rapport in the Sales Mastery Podcast. We learned build rapport. Let reverse wholesaling's good. Reach out to people like Daniel that know what they want and go find it for them. And what else did I miss anything, Daniel? Build rapport, reverse wholesale. Anything else?
Man, there's just so much, but no, that's it. I think for today.
That's good. Okay, those things you guys got to remember. So go out, go get some deals. And last thing I'll add is, guys, the market. Don't worry. People will buy in an up market and a down market. You just got to get out there and find those deals, and you're going to make money. I'm closing on a deal today for 10K that I basically connected. I JV'd on it. Daniel, you know what that is. I brought the deal to another buyer, spent a couple hours of my time, no problem, 10K, and I'm doing a closing on an apartment complex. There's deals out there, everybody. So don't get it twisted. This isn't the end of the world. It's just, price. That's how market is. It fluctuates, but you just got to ride with it.
Yeah, man.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Have a good week. All right.